What's up, guys? Dave Van Auken here, easily the favorite segment from the fans. We're talking about Felicia Spencer's Fee nominal pick. Can't wait to hear what she thinks. Also, I got a couple fun questions for her. We just saw a great fight week last week with Dillashaw and Sandhagen, the Maverick Macy Barber decision. So it's some fun stuff. But she's so beloved. 2 countries own her. We're talking about Canadian Orlando, Felicia Spencer. Here comes Fee on her Fee nominal minute. What's up, Fee?
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good. It's like the Olympics. I'm a big Olympic person. You got Canada loving you. You got Orlando and Florida, America loving you. That's got to be pretty good.
Yeah, definitely feels good. Lots of places to call home.
There you go. Hey, home is a good word. Home is an underrated word for sure. Okay, so before we go into UFC Vegas 33, which is a really cool main event, kind of an underrated, sneaky main event with Strickland and Uriah Hall, I would love your take. You got 2 cents on last week's. The main event was awesome. Dillashaw versus Sandhagen, very great main event. But like what everyone's talking about is the decision on what happened. And then maybe more than that, I talked to Jillian Robertson. It was great to see her in person and have a cool podcast with her. That Maverick Macy Barber decision was pretty horrendous. So I would just love your take on, one, the card itself, how good of the fight Dillashaw and Sandhagen was, and what can we do about those awful damn judges?
That's a lot to unpack there.
No, we got 2 hours. We're good.
Yeah, right. So this weekend, the main event is, it is an interesting main event because I feel like Uriah Hall started with a lot of hype, but his performances, he's lost to, a lot of people, and his wins are kind of over, questionable timing as far as where people are at in their career. So right. I think like Hall is a dangerous guy, though. Like you can never really put him, you can never really underestimate him, I think. So I think it's more competitive than maybe it seems. And then from last week it was a heyday trying to watch the event, honestly. With the Maverick and Barber fight, I got to watch the first 2 rounds, and I was like, and then the dogs were going crazy, so I needed to take the dogs out. So I was like, all right, I'm doing it now. Maverick's got this in the bag. And then I come back and then I find out she lost. I'm like, what the heck happened in the last round that I didn't see?
And even that round, Fee, was like a close round. I think Macy Barber won round 3. I would say it to both girls in front of their face. I think Macy pulled it out, but it was like Maverick easily, organically, everyone thinks won round 1 and 2. And it was so funny. Kenny Florian said it like, he literally, the fight was over and he's like, hey, I'm going to go up and get a drink and come back and kind of, 3-4 minutes, take a break and decompress because I know Maverick won. And then all of a sudden, like he like missed it all, went on his Twitter and like everyone was going crazy about Macy Barber winning a split decision or whatever. And he's like, whoa, what happened? Like it was that easy of a call.
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, I understand it wasn't like a blowout, but right. When I left to walk the dogs, I thought Maverick was winning. So I was like, she get finished. And then the main event decision was a little less questionable. I think it could go either way, but the way that you look at the grappling and the key, like Dillashaw did a good job of like kind of pushing him against the fence and stalling, or just kind of having that control. So like it does count for something, and that one could have gone either way for me. That was a tough one because how do you value like not a lot of like actual striking or action compared to the control that you have? It's kind of hard to decide that one, I think. So
yeah,
I wasn't upset either way on that one, even though I was kind of rooting for Sandhagen in that one. You can't complain when it's that close,
And that's where it gets so tricky. All the conversations I had this whole week, it's like everyone's different. Like everyone loves different stuff. Some people love Mike Tyson as an aggressive knockout boxer, and a lot of people love Floyd Money Mayweather defense and smooth and just staying away. And then there's a lot of in between. So it's Sandhagen probably had the 3 or 4 or 5 biggest hits, beautiful knees on Dillashaw. But the other 22 minutes, like Dillashaw was jabbing, was controlling, was grappling, was kind of like in control of the dance. So it's like, it's tough. I thought Sandhagen live watching it 1-3-2. And then there was like so much buzz. I watched it again, and then I kind of leaned Dillashaw 3-2. So it's like, even I watched it twice and I had 2 different winners. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it's really hard to, you got to kind of feel for the judges sometimes. Like they're
yeah,
trying to keep track of how many times people are landing punches, the damage of those punches and kicks, the control. I mean, it's a lot. Definitely a tough job to have. So, I mean, but like you said, what can we do about the judges? Like education and training definitely, I think, is something that we talk about, but like I don't ever see any evidence that it's happening. Like I guess they wouldn't promote it as like a big thing, but I
right.
think in the MMA world, I think we do care about it enough that it should be a story when like to explain how they're being trained better or if they have like conferences or clinics. Like I think I would be interested to know about it. I hope that the media like
Sure.
would cover that kind of stuff.
And
Um yeah.
Sophie, real quick, there's a good one. Off the top of your head, who do you think is the pound for pound best MMA fighter in the world right now?
Oh, fighter?
Yeah.
Hmm. Let's see.
And
I
there's
don't
so
know. I
many
guess
great ones like Poirier, Rose, Amanda, Izzy, Francis, Charles
yeah.
Oliveira. There's so many great ones. But like if you had to
I
lean
mean, the
towards
first one
one,
that popped into my head was Jones, even though he's not active.
oh,
But
right, that's actually a good one too. Like my point is what I'm saying is like,
yeah,
and I'm a Poirier guy. I love Poirier and his work
yeah,
ethic and his grind, and that's like who I am. So like I just kind of connect with him. That's why I connect with your fight style. I love your
yeah,
grind and grit, and you just will do whatever it takes to win. Everyone has different flavors. Like everyone loves different ice creams. Everyone watches the fight and they were like, some people will be like, oh, Sandhagen won that fight. He was beautiful striking and I saw a great knee. And then some people were like, dude, Dillashaw won that fight. I loved him grappling and grinding and doing whatever it took to win and
yeah,
adversity and his knee hurt. Like that we're all humans. Like we just all love different stuff. So it's like, even if we educate judges more, at the end of the day, we're all different people and we
yeah,
all have different flavors of fighters we like or ice cream or pizza. It's just who we are. People eat
yeah,
pineapple on pizza. What's that about?
yeah, right. Absolutely right. But I feel like it would make everyone feel better to know what
Right.
exactly, like the accountability. I think that we should be able to see some kind of explanation of the
Yeah.
scoring or how they looked at each. I know we know the number for each round, but I also like the idea of open scoring. I know Dana
Yes.
and the UFC
Yes.
isn't too big on it, but I think it hasn't hurt the the excitement of the fight in Invicta where they do it. And if anything, that you're saying it would make people like stall if they're winning, but then it would also make the other person really push if they
No.
know they're losing a close
Yeah.
fight. But if they both go into the last round thinking, "Oh, I got this. I just need to stall this last round," then the mystery, it just kind of makes it go flat anyway. So
Right.
knowing there's always going to be somebody losing that fight, so that's going to push it either way. So
Totally
I like
agree. I'm
open
a
scoring.
huge advocate on open scoring.
Yeah.
So we went almost our time right here just on judging in last week. So we'll roll. UFC Vegas 33. Before I let you kind of put your pick out there, one thing it's just so cool, and I've been such an advocate and just been screaming it on top of the mountain is like how great the Florida regional amateur to professional scene is because every UFC card I look at it, Phil Rowe, like such a huge Orlando based, open up a bump box in Orlando. Ronnie Lawrence down there in South Florida. Shan Bies, maybe you rolled around with her once before. Even Jared Gooden's been around in Florida a lot. Like every single card, you're like, oh, it's like a Florida based 2, 3, 4 fight card. Last week we saw Hannah Goldie was your pick, really strong in Florida. So it's wild how much Florida just is on the mainstream, is on the mainstay UFC week in and week out. So I'm intrigued to see if you're going to pick a Floridian or if we're going a different route this week.
I actually am not. This was a really tough week. It was a lot of the fights. They're just really well matched sometimes, and they're
Yeah.
not like like no one that I'm like super close with or that I know for sure can like beat their opponent. So it was a well matched card. The name that stuck out to me in the underdog row was Jin Yu Fry. She's fighting Ashley Yoder. This is in the
Yeah.
UFC. I also looked at Bellator. There's like 4 events going on this weekend. Um, so she's on the undercard. I think her competition so far in the UFC has been really high level. She had like Kay Hansen, Lumi, however you say her last name. So she's
Yeah.
had tough competition. She hasn't had a win yet, as far as I recall. So I think this coming into like her third or even I think it's her third, maybe her fourth fight in UFC without a win. And I think her skill level for former Invicta champion I think she'll be super motivated and dangerous in this fight. And I mean, Ashley Yoder's great too, but she's, her competition level hasn't, I don't think, been quite as high. She has fought Angela Hill twice, which is about as high as it got for her. So,
Right.
Again, it could always go either way, but I'm gonna push for Jen. We were hanging out in Invicta a few times, so kind of a little friendly with her too. So yeah, I would pick Jen on this one for the underdog pick.
Okay, I like it. That's a good pick. Yeah, it is. It's a tough card. Last week was a lot of big names and opponents and like really cool, trendy matchups. This week it's just really, I feel like close matchups for one, and just a lot of like growth and youth and a lot of potential and fighters that are ascending to that next level. So it's a really cool card. Do you have a lean in the main event? I think Strickland, like, he's one of those guys in this fight too. He probably wins 8 or 9 out of 10. Like, I think he's really good, very solid. He's kind of great momentum, feels good. I think he's and a new name, a new face in the division for middleweight. So he might be 1 or 2 fights away from a title shot. But Uriah Hall is dangerous. He can do something wild and lethal out of nowhere. This could be one of those 1 or 2 of the 10 that he wins. But I think I'm leaning Strickland to pull it out.
Yeah, I think I would. Like, if I had to put money down, I think I would put it on Strickland. But this is one where I would probably not put money down because I don't know, like, maybe it's just still like ingrained in my memory all the crazy shocking things that Uriah Hall has done.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely a close one, but you'd probably have to lean Strickland. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. There you go. So Felicia Spencer's phenomenal pick, UFC Vegas 13, Jenny Fry. Fee, we have like a big kind of like news and stuff. I'll show it around. This is the last time in this studio. We are moving. So we're going to have a different background, fun stuff behind me. So this is like a RIP to this beautiful place here in Daytona Beach, Florida. And then 2 is, without giving too much away, I think we will start doing this a little bit more in person together. Maybe every other week or maybe for the pay-per-view week. So I'm so excited for that and just so excited to keep the phenomenal pick rolling on the Dave Van Auken show. So pumped. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the new studio and then to start doing it in person, so that'll be fun. Definitely a change of pace.
Definitely. I think Megan Cawley said she's going to come and put everything is going to be pictures of her behind me. I'm like, Megan, it's got to be about the show. It's not about you anymore, So we'll see.
That's too funny.
But awesome, Fee. Appreciate it. Should be a good week. Yeah, Bellator stack. McKee and Pitbull's like one of the greatest fights in Bellator history. Very exciting stuff and some big things coming down the pike. So can't wait. We'll talk to you soon. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it.
Later, Fee.